what happened on the night you almost died.
I'd actually left my perpetrator, my then husband, and didn't realise that I put myself in danger because I wasn't educated on domestic abuse. During that day, I'd actually been to court to put through a non-molestation order, and I did that in my lunch break. I'd gone back to the office where I continued with my day. 5:30 came and I went out to the car park with my colleague. We used to have an ongoing joke where she had an older car and I had a newer car, and it was November, so it was cold, and I would start my car up and be able to just honk my horn, say see you later, and off I'd go while she was still demisting her car. On that evening, I got into my car and started the engine and realised that she was waving at me and was going, and I thought, hold on, this can't be right. So I thought, no, don't be silly. My emotions were already heightened because I'd been to court that day, and so left the car running. And then I smelled aftershave and I thought, hold on, this isn't normal. I looked behind me in the seat and fortunately he wasn't there, but I sat there for what felt like eternity, but it was probably about 10 seconds. And then I put my hand behind me into the footwell behind my seat and I felt my picnic blanket. I have OCD, so I know that picnic blanket was in the boot of my car. I jumped out of the car, went round to the boot and flipped the boot up, open, and he was lying in the boot with knives, cable ties, and he was hoping that I would drive off, because what he'd done was loosened the seats in the car so that when I drove off, he was going to come through, and then that was when my life would have been taken. I ran for my life as fast as I could. Fortunately for me, I found my voice at that point and was able to scream really loudly, and one of my colleagues came out of the workplace. He did grab me. I did manage to go down to the floor because from him physically hurting me during the relationship, I knew that I needed to protect my head and my chest. So I went down and covered myself, and at which point my colleague then came and pushed him, and he went off and then got in my car and drove away. Fortunately for me, getting out of the car and running is what saved my life, and I know how lucky I am to still have the voice I have got, but I also know that I need to have that voice to speak for people that potentially aren't feeling strong enough to come forward at this stage or have lost their lives.